Hello Year 6, welcome to Welcome Part 2, and today I'm going to be showing you how to take your flat letters and shapes and turning them into a piece of abstract sculpture. We're going to be making all these lovely forms and shapes which are three-dimensional rather than flat. We've got our flat letters, we're going to turn them into sculpture. I'm also going to show you how you can make it glow in the dark. Now we're taking lots of different inspiration from artists, including Bob and Roberta Smith, who likes to make a statement in his art. We're making a statement too. We're saying that everybody is welcome, whatever language they speak, wherever they come from in the world, we're all welcome. We're also taking inspiration from Shizo Greenblatt, who abstracted her letters and words, so they don't necessarily have to look exactly like they do in the starting point. Same as Sabah Arbilli, he would take the poetry and he would break it up into the shapes of the words and the letters and then turn it into the sculpture. And just in the same way that Doris Bittar took one word, which was "and" in her case, it's "welcome" in our case, and she has shaped it and used it in an interesting way. And just like with Fletcher Bentham, we are abstracting. We are not trying to keep the form that we started with. We're using it as a starting point and shapes. And just like with Steve McQueen's artwork, which you can see at the Whitworth Art Gallery, we're using light in an interesting way. Just as again, like Waqas Khan did, he used light with his word, which was at the Whitworth Art Gallery, but also can be seen at the Manchester Art Gallery and the Manchester Museum with his word, welcome. So let's go. We're going to be taking our flat letters, which we drew out and cut out, and we're going to just tidy those up into a nice neat pile, ready to decorate. So to decorate those, we are going to be using some interesting materials. I've got you these special tapes. Now these tapes glow in the dark when you light them up with UV light. This is a UV light, and I've got you some UV lights so you can have a play with this. And if we shine the UV light on with all the other lights off, you can see how they glow. Notice as well, it's not just the tape that glows, it's the white paper. That's really important, because actually you're going to be doing most of the decoration using white paper with just little tiny bits of the tape. The tape's there really to sort of like give punches of colour. You mostly want to use white. Now, I would suggest you stick to just a couple of the colours of tape, but you might want to experiment and use lots of different colours of the tape. But as I say, I'm mostly going to be using white. I did two versions of this that you'll see later. One just with little bits of tape, and the other, this one, with white paper, and it is so much more effective, I promise you. So I begin by getting myself some bits of paper ready. I've chopped up some little shapes there, and I've got triangles and rectangles and squares, and it's just easier to have those all ready before you go. I've cut some nice long thin shapes as well, because I want to have a really nice time sort of like running them along the edges and things. And if you see, I'm only using the tiniest amount of tape. Really, it's just so much more effective if it's pops of colour with lots of white. So here I am getting ready, chopping up all my bits of paper. Now to glue it on, you can use PVA glue, or you can use this glue stick, something like that, that's fine. Another thing, if you want to try this at home, is using sort of white stickers. Sometimes you can have label stickers, you can cut those up and you don't need to use glue at all. And so I'm just all ready to go and start decorating. So I am just taking one letter at a time. I'm looking at that, I'm thinking, what interesting shapes can I put on there? Sometimes they're quite rounded shapes, sometimes they're lines, sometimes triangles overlapping each other. That looked quite effective. But you're just going to have a really nice play with this. You just play with it and find shapes which you think are interesting and just build it up, and do lots of white with some little highlighted bits of the tape. And what you can do, because you're going to share this tape, is just pull off about the length of your finger, stick it on the side of your desk, and then just cut bits off as you need them. Okay, let's tidy up. I've just done all my decoration. of my individual letters. Now I'm going to be using a stapler and another piece of black card to turn it into my sculpture. So I just take my first section here of the word, or your letters, whatever you've got. I'm taking quite a big piece and I'm just stapling it on the edge. There, just for the first one, don't worry too much about it because it's just about playing. And when you've got the first one on, it really helps. So just get the first piece on. And you notice that I just use one staple at one end and one staple at another. That's all it takes because it's a nice thin card. And then you just begin building it up. Would it look good there? Would it look good that way up? Because remember, this is abstract. It doesn't have to be the right way up. We're not expecting anyone to actually read the word welcome there. We're just taking the idea of the word welcome. All those lovely shapes in those interesting letters from all around the world. So just staple it on and you start linking them up together. So I'm working quite quickly here, but you might want to take your time a bit more and try things in different positions before you staple. But it's just a very basic idea of seeing what looks good. That's what it's all about, having a play with the shapes and working out what will look nice together. So there you go, just using the stapler and one staple and then work out where to join it on. And you can get really quite tall with these. You can get some really good heights. So as long as you've got a good base, you can build it up quite high or just keep making interesting shapes. And if you really don't like something, you can prise the staple out and put it back on. But I didn't feel the need to do that really. I just kept going, bending bits over, trying bits out, and when I thought, yeah, that's good, I just stapled it, and that worked really well. Oh, missed that one. Yeah, staple there. Lovely. And just adding these last bits. These were some of the lines. These are the things I started off with first, the lines, which in my Arabic script is very, very important. And it's nice that we're using every part of that word, welcome. And we're not forgetting any little bits, because then it feels sort of more honest and truthful in a way by having those on. So there we go, last bits added on. Where will that look good? Have a little play, and in a moment I'm going to turn the lights out with that UV light only glowing. There we go, and I've put the one I made earlier next to that one, and you can see I really do think it's more effective with the white. So yeah, stick more with the white with some highlights in the tape, and it makes for really effective artwork. Now I'm planning, if we've got time before we break up for the holiday, I've bought a big UV light, and the idea is we could lay these all up in the downstairs hall with all the lights out, and we can have a nice play with the UV lights and see what everybody's in the classes all looks together. But in the meantime, it's still nice and interesting to lay them all out together and have a look what they look like there. And I will give you this little UV light so you can have a look. So all you need to do is lay them out, turn the lights out and have a look around them, which bits look best. And you'll find a bit aside that you like best, and that will be how you display it. There we go. So have lots of fun with that. Remember, use lots of white and only tiny bits of the colour, as that's most effective. Have fun, everybody. Bye.